Juan Brown for the Grass Valley Union on a sultry summer night here at the Willow. If 5 days of banjo music wasn't enough at the Grass Valley Bluegrass Festival, folks just can't get enough of it. And there's one more night of banjo with a very special guest, Dan Walsh from the UK.
Oh.
What are you doing all the way out here at the Willow in California playing banjo?
Yeah, good question. Well, I tour the States every couple of years because it's the banjo capital of the world after all. I was actually asked to teach at a thing called the Midwest Banjo Camp, so that was over in the Midwest, which I know is not near here. Mm-hmm. But I've come here twice before and absolutely love it. And I had a little window in my schedule to come here and do another tour. So I thought, as I was in the country already, I'd come back to California and come back to Nevada City. It's my second gig here, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, great. And so how many years have you been... First, let's talk about your style of banjo. You're playing old-timey clawhammer style banjo, correct?
Yes.
But you're using the Deering metal.
Yes. I play a bluegrass banjo, yes,
Mm-hmm.
which I didn't know was kind of viewed as sacrilege until I actually did it. So basically, I learned on the open back. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, and then when I got to university, I was in a lot of Celtic sessions where I was like one banjo player competing with 8 fiddlers and 7 accordionists and God knows what. So I needed a loud banjo, so I went to a shop to try a few, chose this one, and well, not this one, but a similar model to this one, and kind of stuck with it. But I didn't, as I say, it was only afterwards that I became aware that some of the old time community viewed this as a mortal
blasphemy.
sin.
But it's got the projection that you want, right?
And I think also because even though I play clawhammer style, I don't play that much old-timey material, which is not because I don't like it, just because there's lots of people who are very, very good at it already. Whereas I think my speciality is more towards the Celtic and bluegrass end of things. So I kind of use clawhammer to play other stuff, and I think a resonator suits me, suits my style.
Which is pretty unique to play clawhammer style. Give us an example, a short, quick example of one of these reels, for example, that you've been playing, an Irish kind of tune.
Yeah.
Clawhammer style.
So something like this.
And now you've got this really unique tune that I saw on YouTube that just hooked me in totally. This tune that you developed at a jam in Calcutta or something? What's the story with that?
Sure, yeah. So I ended up in a project in Calcutta in India with there were 4 Brits and 6 Indians, or they were from India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, and we kind of just sat around jamming for 2 weeks basically, which was a lot of fun. Of course, I didn't have a clue what I was doing because I never played Indian music in my life, but I kind of cottoned on to some of the things that they do. So I cottoned on to kind of some of the scales that they use, but also some of the kind of they have kind of cues that they have. So in the same way that in bluegrass jams, there's kind of unwritten rules that you sort of know. So people who've never played together before can kind of join in and kind of know roughly what's going to happen. And I guess Indian music has some of those too. It's just they're obviously completely different.
And what are the cues over there? Were they musical cues or were they visual cues?
A little bit of both, but mostly musical cues.
Okay.
So they have a particular thing where when it's the end of a section or the end of a solo, they have like a little
drum thing?
It's exactly. It's usually on the tablet, so it's like a. So there's always 3 of those.
Okay, 3 potatoes, but
exactly. So when you do a big long solo and you're bored and you get to the end, if you do that cue, then that's everybody's cue to kind of move to the next section.
Let's hear a little section of that, especially the really bendy notes that you're throwing in there, the crazy hammer-ons and bends you do.
Well, I wrote this as a kind of hybrid of reel and raga, if you like. So this is called Whiplash Reel.
Amazing. Interesting. Wow, neat stuff. Crazy
Yeah.
hammer-ons and pull-offs. Dan Walsh, you're available all throughout social media, Facebook,
Yep.
YouTube,
Twitter.
that sort of thing. And you're going to come back through, hopefully, in the future?
Oh, try and stop me, yeah. I love coming out here.
What is it about California you like coming out here for?
I love the people, to be honest. I find the atmosphere just fantastic, and every gig I've done out here, I've just had a really nice, a really nice response, and kind of it feels like more than just a gig. It kind of feels like being welcomed into a sort of
Community,
group
yeah.
of friends, and that's really great.
Yeah. And what part of the UK are you from?
So I grew up in Stafford, but I now live in Shrewsbury.
James, where's that located, roughly?
Shrewsbury, so Shropshire.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So kind of West Midlands, on the Welsh border.
Oh, all the way up toward Wales. Wow, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Dan Walsh, thanks so much.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
see you here.
Look forward to it.